become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved and pushed them all away?
What's up, guys? Kaiju Scapegoat here. So here's the deal. I've been seeing over the last year or so possible support cards that people are talking about for Kaiju, and about how they need a Feather Duster, and about how they need a Raigeki, about how those are the only ways the deck can be competitive, despite the fact the deck already fucking has a Raigeki. But that's neither here nor there, so I figured I'd just throw my hat in the mix. I'm not saying any of these cards should be made. I'm not saying that all of them should be made. I'm just saying that if they were to create, in my opinion, any kind of possible support cards for Kaiju, unless it's something very small, something that can kind of help but not too much, you're breaking an already broken deck, in my opinion. But, if we were to create support cards, these are the kind of things that I would like to see. And like I said, I know that these are a lot of, some of these effects are way over the top, but, we're talking about support cards here. You gotta make support cards good. I kind of tailor these to make sure that they're not, ridiculous. There's no, Spellbook of Judgments in here. There's no, if you control a Kaiju monster, then you can negate anything, and, then special another Kaiju to your side of the field, ignoring the summoning conditions. None of that bullshit. So, I figured I'd just show you guys. To me, this is more tailored towards control. So, that said, we're gonna get into it. Hope you guys enjoy it. So, first card I have here is called Kaiju Breach. So, continuous spell card, you can see right here. It's first of all, I was just Google searching, or Google image searching a bunch of different Kaiju, you can't see the air quotes, Kaiju pictures or whatever, and these are some of the things that came up. They're actually pretty badass looking. Because if you guys don't know, Kaiju is a type of, they're like Universal monster movies. That's what the Kaiju archetype was based out of, if you didn't know. So, it says, you can only activate this card while you control a face-up Kaiju monster. I did have Waterfront in here, you had to control a Kaiju monster and Waterfront, but then I realized it didn't really make any sense, because it's are you people that splash Kaiju engines because of how good Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is? Yeah, I get it, but at the same token, okay, you're gonna play, 2 Slumber and 3 to 5 to maybe even more Kaiju, and then you're going to play, Breach, just in case you draw Breach when you control a Kaiju monster. That just doesn't make any sense. You're just going to brick all day. So, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. So, when you control a face-up Kaiju monster, while this card remains face-up on the field, your opponent cannot special summon monsters. If a Kaiju monster or Kyoto Waterfront is sent to your graveyard, destroy this card. So, it's more or less Hidden Temples of Necro Valley. I think it's a lot better in this deck than it is in Gravekeepers, but, so it's not super, super reactive. I'm going to chain Vanity's Emptiness, you know what I mean? I made it so that, it still has a really powerful effect. The no special summon effect is definitely relevant against a lot of stuff, but I've made it so that it's not just, I'm going to flip it, whenever the time's right, and that's going to be the game. So, the same logic that they had with Hidden Temples, although in my opinion, Hidden Temples should have been a Vanity's Emptiness-like effect, but that's neither here nor there. So, that's Kaiju Breach. Honestly, I would definitely play this. I would play all of these. I would find a way to throw all 4 of them into the deck. But we would see how that would work, when the time came. Yeah, but Kaiju Breach, definitely one of the stronger support cards it would probably ever have. And, just the fact that it's a Hidden Temples, you know what I mean? But I like that it's a Hidden Temples. I like that it's not a chainable, Vanity's Emptiness, you know what I mean? I made it so that just, you play it, you have your setup, now can your opponent break it, rather than I'm going to disrupt you. Because disruption is a lot more difficult to get rid of, or it's a lot more difficult to deal with, rather, than, the strong first turn fields. So, that's the first card. We'll go with Alpha Kaiju Recruiter. So, you see right here, oh wow, I didn't actually put it, yeah I did, what the hell, there we go, it wasn't, Spellcaster wasn't showing up. So, it's a level 1, light, 0 attack, 0 defense, obviously it's a Recruiter type monster, it has Recruiter in the name, because I couldn't think of anything better, so we have Alpha Kaiju Recruiter Spellcaster. So this card cannot be special summoned from the deck, so I made it doesn't work with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, you have to draw this dude or search it. If your opponent controls a Kaiju monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in attack position. I made it so that way, if you want to special summon it, so that way you can special summon a Kaiju out of your deck. That makes it so that you also have your normal summon to back it up, to make sure that the Kaiju is not just kind of stranded out there on its own island. But that way, it's only if your opponent controls a Kaiju. It's not like I'm just going to let you special summon it, and then tribute and special, and then oh, that dies, okay, well then I'm going to that's not how it works. So, you special summon this card from your hand in attack position. You can only control 1 Kaiju monster, so that makes it so that, you can't use this dude, and, I guess it's a little bit redundant, but I just made it so that it's the same line of text that pretty much every other Kaiju card has. So you can tribute this card, special summon 1 Kaiju monster from the deck. So I made it so that basically, you have, usually you have to search off of a Waterfront, but I made it so it's not just strictly a search off Waterfront. You know, I might throw in, you cannot special summon monsters during the turn you activate this card's effect except Kaiju monsters. I actually think, you know what, I'll add that in right now. Reason being, though, is that I want to make this not like a splashable engine. You can throw a Recruiter in here and then throw, you know, what is it, Kaiju Breach in here. There we go, that's better. So anyways, yeah, Alpha Kaiju Recruiter makes it so that you have more access to your Kaiju and not so much just like, oh, I need to have the field spell to search, otherwise I just get whatever Kaiju I draw. It makes it, it gives a little bit more versatility. I didn't give it like some big second effect. It's just, you know, you special summon it, and then you special another Kaiju by tributing it. It's a Lone Fire Blossom, so... That's Alpha Kaiju Recruiter. So then we'll go to Itachi. Yeah, that's actually a Kaiju name, believe it or not. So Itachi, the Crimson Typhoon Kaiju. So I know what you guys are thinking right off the bat. You know, what the fuck? It's a level 4. You know, what the heck? So I basically made it so, like, I just don't want it, you know, like, they don't all have to be, like, high levels, you know what I mean? I also made this as a normal summon. So this card cannot be special summoned, just period. I don't want to be able to have it get Monster Reborn. I don't want it to be able to get special off Kaiju Slumber. That'd just be too much spam. So, this card can only be normal summoned while you control a Kaiju monster, ignoring the number of Kaiju monsters on the field. It's either you can do that, or you can just take the Kaiju out of its name and have it be Itachi, the Crimson Typhoon, you know, whatever. You know, the Crimson Typhoon monster. I don't fucking know. So, either you take Kaiju out of its name, or you make it so that you can normal summon it while you control another Kaiju monster, ignoring the number of Kaiju monsters on the field. So, while you control a Kaiju monster, neither player can special summon monsters except Kaiju monsters. So, it's its own little Fossil Dyna. It's better than Fossil Dyna, obviously. It's got better stats. It's, you know, I was going to say it's level 4, but that's really irrelevant. Plus, Dyna's also level 4. But basically, it's got better stats than Dyna. It also makes it so that you can still special summon Kaiju monsters. So, if you have, like, a Gameciel out and you have Itachi out, your opponent, if they're playing Kaiju, you know, if they're splashing a Kaiju engine in, they can special summon Thunder King, you know, and, like, beat over it or something like that. And it's only while you control a Kaiju monster. So if they get rid of your Kaiju and you just have Itachi sitting there, it doesn't really do anything. So, again, pretty powerful card, but I also, like I said, I wanted to make sure that these cards are, you know, they're not super over the top, like, you know, Spellbook of Judgment or anything like that, but I also made it so that they're at least playable in the deck. Because otherwise, what's the point of making them? And lastly, this is Kaiju Uprising. So, it says, target one Kaiju monster in either player's graveyard and special summon it. So basically it makes it so the mirror match is a little bit more interesting, you know, than just I'm going to special my one monster to your one monster, you know what I mean? So you target a Kaiju monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. During either player's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Kaiju monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this card's effects except Kaiju monsters. So basically, I wanted it to be, you know, its own little monster reborn for the archetype. I also wanted it to have like a Diamond Core of Quackimera like effect. You know, have it be so that it's like, you know, if you have Jizukiro out and they just like top deck Slumber, they top deck Regeki, they top deck Dark Hole, you're not completely dead in the water. It helps out a bit. You know, it makes it so that you have that little bit of you know, recursion. You know what I mean? Because like, let's say they go. You know, you special summon your Jizukiro or whatever. You already gave them a Kaiju. You gave him Radion or something like that, so you need to make sure that this Jizukiro goes through, whatever, and your opponent strikes it. It's like, well, shit. Okay, now activate the field spell to try and search another Jizukiro, and they Ghost Dash it. You know, it's like, well, fuck, you know, what do you do now? So I made it so it's that little bit more recovery without, again, being too ridiculous, because if you're in a winning position, this card really doesn't help you. It just kind of helps with your worst situations while not really helping as much as it could in better situations. Like, this is a quick... I originally had this as a quick play. I'm like, you know what? No. Like, that's a bit too much. So, yeah, Kaiju Uprising. Honestly, I could even see them making this card. I don't really think they're going to. I don't think they're ever going to make Kaiju support, at least for, like... No, I don't think they're ever making more Kaiju support. But, you know, I could actually see them making this card. It's not super over the top. It's just a nice recovery card, which Kaiju, you know, they have a great grind game, but sometimes a recovery game can hurt a bit. It just depends on how you build the deck. So, those are my 4 Kaiju support cards, you guys. Let me know if I missed anything, if you guys want to see more Kaiju support. Or if you guys think you have better Kaiju support than I do, then by all means, leave a comment and maybe... I don't know, share this video with Konami. I don't know what to tell you. So, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.